So we are back. Day 35. I just double checked. We have 65 days left. Two fat boys trying not to be fat. I have been doing pretty good. Dave's been doing better, I think, but this scale is kind of fucking with me a little bit. I was weighing in 2 days ago at 206, but I came in today at 207. But I'm trending pretty well. I think that I just need to be just tighter all around. More steps, more, all the little details. Too much restaurant food still. Not being strict enough. Not having my priorities enough. What's going on? Give me your numbers, your stats.
So I weighed in on Monday. It was
Today's Tuesday, by the way. We
day
fucked
behind.
up yesterday again.
So one day. So last week I was 156.4, and on Monday yesterday when I weighed myself, I was weighing 155.2. So it's about a 1.4.
1.2 down.
Yeah, 1.2
Solid.
down.
So and I'm kind of really doing I'm doing a lot of protein, so I'm definitely maintaining. I feel like I'm maintaining my muscle, or maybe even adding a teeny bit of muscle. Mostly just maintaining. So I think it actually, in a way, is kind of harder to cut when you're lifting a lot, because your body really doesn't want to drop weight because you're lifting, and it makes it harder. I feel like if I was just doing cardio and eating like really light, but then I would be losing muscle and fat, and I don't want that. Like I wanna be like nice and chiseled at the end of this challenge. So I think the body like fights harder when you're lifting a lot, not to drop the pounds. So yeah, that's something that's going on.
Yeah, no, if you were just doing cardio, it'd be a lot easier. You'd probably be cutting less, and also since you're lifting weights, it requires you to consume more.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, for me it's been pretty good. I can still step it up now that I'm at the point now where my energy has increased overall, so I feel a little bit better in the gym. I'm not as sore. This last week I also incorporated a little bit of mobility exercises, some yoga here and there.
It's true. I ever since I was having like eczema on my back and like a couple other places on my body, but like my back I had like some bad skin rash, like eczema stuff. And as soon as I started cleaning up my diet, and I think also the sauna is supposed to be really good for your skin. As soon as my diet got cleaned up and I started sauning multiple times a week, I have like I don't have to use this cream at all anymore. Like my eczema has gone away completely, which is freaking amazing, because eczema is super annoying and it gets itchy. And it's like, ugh. But yeah, so there's like so many benefits. But I think I'm not discouraged at all. I feel like I'm in a spot, like I think I said it before, where even though I might not be dropping like a ton of weight as quickly as I would want, my gut is going down. I forgot to take a progress picture this morning. I'll take one tomorrow and I'll upload it.
Okay.
And by the way, I think we're behind on posting, aren't we?
No, I posted everything already.
Are the YouTube editors? Have we started with the YouTube editing?
Yeah, they're like our fitness
with the clips
stuff
and stuff.
Yeah, our fitness stuff is up to date. Everything's updated, like it's posted.
The full versions.
Yeah, the full versions.
But have we started any clips yet?
No, for the fitness, no. They finished the clips for their podcast for the poker stuff.
For Ryan.
Yeah, they're just creating the thumbnails now, and they're creating the reels. But they're done with that. Like the full podcast is done. The clips are all done. They just have to add the thumbnails. And then they're working on one more reel, and then they'll be up to date on the poker stuff. It's just, in the beginning, it's a little bit more. It takes a little bit of time because
there's a lot of like learning curve stuff.
Yeah, just revisions. Now that they know what I want exactly, the next time when we do it, it should be a lot faster. Plus, I told them that we're gonna need most likely 2 editors to work on our stuff, because we're gonna have like 3 different type of content, which is like the full video podcast, the clips, and then also the reels
and the shorts.
Yeah, the reels shorts. So they're gonna have a lot of like content on their hands. So I talked to
Yeah,
them.
we should be doing a clip and a short every day on YouTube, I think.
Yeah, so they are. I requested that yesterday. Well,
Okay.
actually, I requested a few days ago. So they got back to me and they told me they're gonna get another editor to work on our content. Because so far, like the reels that they post, I like it. Like the way I posted yesterday.
Are we putting in? Are you adding the in the full on the weekly fitness podcast one? Are we adding like our progress pictures for them to add?
No, I've been adding like on the full podcast.
Yeah,
I added on there.
You added it into like. Are the editors putting in like a picture of me when I say like, you know, whatever, this is what I weighed in at this morning or whatever?
So far, I've been doing the fitness podcast ones because it's just like it just requires like minimal editing. It's just like
you've been and so you've been putting it in?
Yeah, I put it in on
okay,
on
I'll
the
take
last...
a look at it.
Okay.
I'll take a look at it and see. Yeah, because I definitely want to, you know, we're a third of the way through, and now that we're like getting the hang of it, I want to try and start upgrading it and adding more, you know, screenshots and feedback, so that when we go back and review it down the road or whatever, or when we're making the documentary, we have more, you know, we already have a lot of the work done. We don't have to recreate everything.
The last episode I uploaded, which was the 4th one, I put the progress pics there. I think we can also well, today, since you don't have yours, but going forward,
I'll post mine tomorrow. I'll send you a update weight, and I'll send you a progress. You know how I do it. I do like a picture that has my weight and a day stamp. So
I think for like going forward for the next podcast, we can just, in the beginning when we talk about it, we can just put it on how we did last time, like on camera 4, and just do the airplay, and that way it's just like it shows our pictures there. We can just talk about it a little bit and show our progress pics in the beginning.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. That's
that way we don't forget. Yeah, we don't forget or have to go like post editing and putting stuff in there.
And you can always like adjust the zoom or whatever later, so look better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I like that. That's cool. Okay, so now what we'll do is, that's a good idea. Like anything before we film, anything that me or you or any guests want, we'll have like a protocol where we just like.
Well, like in the like we have for ourselves with the fitness Telegram channel.
Yeah, just
so all our content will be there. I'll start posting in there too.
I've been anything like that. Anyone, like whenever we film, just say like anything that you want to share or be included in the video. Just like get it ready on your phone, and then.
Yeah, because when it's like that, for instance, if we put everything, even if it's just in the beginning and I upload it to that angle, when I edit in the post, I don't have to like import any footage. It's already in there, and I just grab that clip and I can slide it to like any point in the podcast.
That's nice. Okay, so that's good. I'm glad we like kind of like figured out that hack, because that'll make things a lot easier. So from now on, every time we film, we'll just like share.
Yeah, in the beginning.
We'll just share our stuff in the beginning, and then we can like riff off of that.
Yeah.
I guess we could just like use an iPad or something too, so it's like all in one place. Yeah. But yeah, I think that so you're not lifting that much, right?
No, I have been lifting. Okay. I like the first few weeks I was lifting, but since I had like the little neck injury problem, I wasn't going as hard as I could. But now, since like month 1 for me was just kind of getting back into the progress, getting back into the steps,
into like healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, because I tend to sometimes like, I mean, you know me for a little bit. I do things like 0 or 100%.
Yeah.
So like now that I'm like we're doing this, 100 days. What I've done in the past where it's caused me issues is I'll go way too hard in the beginning, and it always causes some type of injury for me.
Yeah.
I have it's not big, but I have like mild scoliosis, like in the lower part of my spine. So I always have like back issues. And so in the beginning, when I'm starting to lift weights, a lot of the times I haven't like in the past.
Plus you're soggy and soft.
And I'm soggy like and
super like prone for injuries.
Yeah, and I'm not stretching in the beginning. I'm still like lazy, but now I have my little stretching routine. I'm warmed up properly. I'm having like a little bit of a pre-workout.
Nice.
So I feel pretty good. I'm chugging some water before I get into the gym. So overall, like I'm doing really good on my habits. So yeah, so this time the first month I basically just like took it not easy, but like I scaled it back, probably like 60 to 70% intensity. But what I did really good was dialing in my nutrition, and my step count wasn't horrible, but it was decent. But now that my body feels good and I'm taking the proper steps to make sure I'm not injured, I'm really gonna push the intensity this month and next month. And I did like it wasn't a 2-day fast, but I did like a day and a half over the weekend when I wasn't feeling too well, so it was a little easier too. I didn't have much appetite, but yeah. So month two, like I feel pretty excited right now because at this point not that we've lost motivation, but at this point in the journey, you're more like it's more like focus on discipline than motivation. You know, in the beginning, it's like the honeymoon phase. You're like, okay, I'm excited. We're starting a new challenge. And now at this point,
for me now, it feels like now is a time to like lock in.
Yeah.
Like I feel I've gotten rid of all my bad habits, like my really bad habits. I'm not snacking at night. I'm not really emotional eating. I'm not overdoing it. I've made a lot of changes. I'm very aware of like how many calories I'm eating, and now I just really need to like dial in all the little things, like not having the sauce. Like I'm having a super healthy meal, but there's like a little sauce that I might be using that's not like super low calorie optimized, 150 calories there. Being, just like little things like those extra
what sauce is it that kills you?
No, like we have sauces at the house. I'm actually pretty good at the house, but like for example, when I order, like if I order food from like Pura Vida and I get like the cleanest thing, but they bring their sauce, and instead of like not using it, I'll use it, just like little stuff. And every little decision like that adds up like a ton over the course of the week,
Yeah. No, sauces kill you. I use mainly mustard because it has like 0 calories. And
mustard's like, the nuts condiment for cutting.
Yeah, that, and I have like this low-cal barbecue sauce. So with those two, I'm fine. It kind of just gives me enough, flavor where I don't feel like it's so dry or.
What I have like my go-to right now for my sauce is the Primal Kitchen has their ketchup. They have like other sauces too, but their Primal Kitchen ketchup is only 10 calories per serving. So I probably use a couple servings, and then I mix it with like this super hot, spicy, 0 calorie habanero sauce. And so together it's probably, minimal. Sometimes if I'm really dialed in, I'll just use mustard with the hot, spicy habanero sauce, and then it's like really 0 calories.
Yeah.
So, I should probably switch to that just because every calorie matters when you're like really trying to get fucking dialed. And so I don't know, like I probably will start doing that.
Yeah. No, I talking about sauces, I was fasting, and then I was at Publix just grocery shopping, and not that I broke, I guess I wouldn't say I broke down, but because I was still mindful of my overall calories, but I had like a sub. It was like a wrap, but according to like the the numbers, it's like 500-600 calories. But even then, like I was adding an extra 200-300 just in case. So, but I had like this mustard, and they put this spicy mustard. I promise you, it's like the most spicy sandwich I ever ate in my life. I'm never gonna eat
spicy. Is good actually, I think, for cutting because it kind of like slows you down from eating too much.
Yeah, I like spicy, but that spicy mustard they put on my sandwich was. I like those cartoons where you're really sweating. Mad, yeah, or like the smoke comes out your nose. That's how I felt.
Yeah,
I felt like it was one of those like eat these hot pepper challenges. It was crazy.
I think spicy's. I love spicy in general, but I think spicy's good for dieting. It just kind of like makes you eat slower, and I think it like burns more calories too because it's like has like a thermogenic effect also. So
I've been trying to like eat things that are easy and fast. So I found these like microwavable, even though the microwave's not the best, but just doing it for ease purposes.
Microwave for like biohacking reasons it's not the best, but for I see all the bodybuilders use a microwave, whatever. Like I don't think it's gonna interfere with cutting.
For weight purposes, I don't think so.
Probably should be using a glass container, but
I use glass, but so my main dinner, it's like I eat these like bean chili, and I put like 2 of them in there, and they're like 200 calories each, so it's about 400 calories there. It's like 30 grams of protein.
Lentils and beans, they have lots of protein, and even though they have a lot of carbs, they have like I think they have a low glycemic index.
Yeah,
they digest like much slower. They don't spike your insulin as much, so they keep you fuller for longer. I'm pretty sure my buddy actually just went to, you know, that guy Brian Johnson, like the super gonna live forever guy.
Oh yeah.
He's like pale, but he's like running all these experiments.
Yeah.
He just had his conference here in Miami, the Never Die or Don't Die conference, and like all the internet gurus were there. My Ryan went, from the podcast, and he just sent an email with his like summary. And one of the foods that, like, he only eats like a very small number of foods, but one of them is black lentils.
Oh, okay.
And you know, that's like one of the superfoods on his list for whatever reasons. So I should probably add some of those into my mix.
Yeah, I've been eating a lot of lentils, beans and lentils with the cauliflower and a little bit of like avocado. I've been eating pretty much high protein and high quality fats. Avocados, mainly avocados, but it fills me up.
And you're not eating meat, so you can't eat like lean ground beef or anything. But I eat avocados and fishes and lean ground beef.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like super motivated, even though the number on the scale isn't that lower. My body composition is changing like pretty legitimately. Yeah. I just need to I feel like right now I'm on track to get to like, I mean, if you do the math, I'm down 6 pounds. Well, I'm going to say I was 206 because today is just like a water weight fluctuation. I'm going to just say that I was down to 206. So I'm down 6 pounds. So I'm actually on pace still to be down 18, which is just a hair below my target. So it's not the end of the world, but I gotta I gotta like make sure that I keep progressing. I can't get lazy. I have to keep being vigilant, and
especially like month 2 and 3 are going to be more difficult to drop weight as we continue to drop weight the next few months. I mean, not so much that it's more difficult. You just have to put more energy in.
Yeah, like a 300 or 400 calorie deficit in week 2 will get you a certain amount of results, but then you're going to have to go to like a 500 calorie deficit to get the same results in week 5,
that
6.
or just increase like your walking.
Yeah, for sure. The walking is good. It's ever since I got the home walking pad, I've been better. I kind of fucked up the last week. I've been compromising my schedule a little bit. Like I've been staying out a little bit too late at poker games, and it's not that it like threw me off my game completely, but it kind of, when you're a little bit sleep deprived, you just don't make the perfect decisions and you're not optimized, and then you're more likely to like skip a 10-minute walk, or instead of getting 12,000 steps in a day, you probably get like 7 or 8. And so when you kind of let certain things take priority, it's just natural that the other stuff has to be bumped down. You know what I mean?
I know for sure when it comes to sleep, since my sleep has changed so much, so drastically in the last couple of months, it's the biggest. I probably would say it's probably, if it wasn't for sleep, I don't think I could be doing what I'm doing now, because
if you were still on an erratic sleep schedule, you'd be fucked, right?
Yeah, because this is my main schedule. My main schedule is I'm waking up between, like, now my body is naturally waking up between like 6 and 8 a.m. Really depends what time I fall asleep, which I like. The only thing I have to work on is like if I wake up at 6 or 6:30 is try to get up. Because sometimes I'll get up at 6:30 and then I'll just lay in bed for another hour or two. But I'm trying to get out of that. But for the most part, if I wake up around 8, I get right back up. But my schedule, like a day to day for me right now, looks like waking up between like, I would say 7 and 8. I'll go hit the gym. Well, I'll walk for like half an hour, hit the gym, walk another half an hour. Depending what we have going on, I'll come out here around like 10 o'clock, 10:30. And then shoot to like 2, 3, or 4. I'll probably leave the studio around 4 or 5, edit a little bit here. And then once I get home, I'll eat something. And also depending on how much steps I've walked, I try to like finish the steps there, whether it's like the walking pad or the treadmill. Yeah. And then after that, I'm just kind of looking at a few different things, just like content or what different ideas we can have, or just handling the
managing
editors.
all the content that's coming off the assembly line, kind of, and the editors
exactly.
and stuff.
Yeah, and then after that, it's like 7 or 8, and then I'm just now again watching, because right now, like, I'm a lot of the, besides like the content of like how we can grow, I'm just, because now that I want to start shooting with the iPhone, it's like I used to be a videographer and photographer, so like for the most part, it's not like a huge learning curve, but there is like certain settings that apply to, because when you're shooting in high quality, it's not like so much auto anymore, it's like manual. So it's again like, okay, in these light conditions, I have to make sure these settings are this. Or now that we're kind of thinking about doing more vlog stuff, it's like composition and what photos I'm gonna get of you, how am I gonna like plan out like what we're gonna shoot during the day, because it makes it a lot easier to shoot. Like in my mind, once I kind of know like next week if we do something like in the field, if I know what we're gonna do and I can kind of how to, it's like creating a script. Like, what are we gonna do today? What's the purpose? What problem are we gonna have a solution for? What type of drama are we gonna add in the middle? So like right now I'm just after I do like
storytelling a little bit.
So right now after I'm doing like all the handling the editors and then also looking at how to grow social media, I'm kind of looking into that. And then now it's like 9 or 10 and then I'm falling asleep. I might watch something for like an hour or so. Last week I did include some reading so I could fall asleep. So right now it's kind of my day. Like I'm kind of busy from like the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep.
No, I think we talked about this on one of the last episodes, is like the best thing you can do for like getting healthy and cutting for sure is just being super busy. Being busy and being focused and having.
But for the most part, Monday through Saturday, which is good because I'm trying to lift like 5 to 6 days a week. So it works perfect right now. And I know in my mind, it's like, I know I have to be so dialed in at least for the next 2-3 months. And excuse me. And after that, I can like not slack, but then I can, take it down a little bit, maybe have like a 1 week where I'm just recovering and then go right back at it. But I feel like once I have like figured out this whole system with the editors and everything's like running on autopilot, for the most part, I think our Instagram is fine now. I kind of have that fine.
Yeah, we need to get our volume up a teeny bit. Like we need to add a little bit more in the stories, and then maybe, and we need to get, I think we need to be doing 3 posts a day, a reel, a graphic, and a story, like minimum. That's an Instagram. And then we need to be doing a clip, a short, and a clip and a short. So if we could do 3 on Instagram and 2 on YouTube every day, that's the goal I want to get to within a week or 2. Because now we have everybody like cranking and all the editors.
So for the Instagram, because I have like the reel pretty much going, and the graphics I started posting on the
slideshow or whatever it's called.
No, I've done it in the stories, but
okay. Oh yeah, that's the static story.
Yeah.
And then we should actually be doing 4 things. We should do the reel every day. We should do a static story. I should do a little behind the scenes story, minimum 1, and then we should also do a feed, a little mini like
a settlement or like some info.
Or just like something in the feed, like a feed post or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So so we just have to add those 2, because I have like the posting of the reel going. I have the static story, so we just have to add you behind the scenes and then a static post.
Yeah, I did just 1 behind the scenes last week, and I got a lot of messages and people were like chiming in, and like, that is an important piece to the puzzle, because it makes people feel like people like the polished and edited stuff, but I feel like they know that was probably filmed a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
So they like to see something that's like from today. Yeah. Because then they can like send me a DM and be like, oh, cool. Like I did a video of me driving, and then people are like, oh, what are you up to? What do you?
Yeah, I think right now like our not necessarily like I mean, it's good that we do like the other posts when it comes to like your law, but when it comes to like more about you and your life, you get a lot better reaction.
Yeah, I like the lifestyle. I think the lifestyle stuff, we got to come up with that. Like, and we can even use some of the, like I saw we used one of the pieces from the poker podcast with Ryan in my Instagram, which is fine. Yeah. I think having lifestyle stuff and then just having like less law stuff is good. Having a good mix, whether it's 50-50 or 70-30, you know, a little bit, maybe a little bit more on the lifestyle, because that can, everyone likes that, because everyone can watch lifestyle content, you know, like law stuff can be boring, and sometimes people don't, they click away from that.
Because if we just constantly post that, it's gonna probably feel like an ad 24/7. Like, come to my law.
Yeah, and no one, I mean, that's just boring. People don't care that much about, like, even if we do the reactions of the car accidents, that's cool. That's kind of like not an ad. That's more just I think
the car accident, we should definitely mix. We should record, I think, that once a week, so we can just like build that catalog up. I think we should like mix in like 2 or 3, maybe at least maybe 2 reaction videos a week, whether it's car accident or maybe, do you focus on anything else or just mainly on car accident, like slip and fall?
Car accidents, truck accidents, a little bit of slip and falls. Yeah, the car and the trucks are big ones.
Okay, but even then, like even if you don't maybe necessarily are so much into like other personal injury, we could probably just include a video reaction, because we're just trying to get like viewers, and you know, it just
I loved that little segment that we got like at the coffee shop the other day.
Yeah,
I think that was like, we didn't wind up getting the best content just because it was our first time doing it, and we weren't super comfortable. And I really should have given Ryan's dad a microphone so that the audience, even if we didn't put his face in, you know, having his audio would be really good, because, you know, he was talking about his case. It was pretty cool content. So we wound up just having coffee with Ryan, and his dad has a case, and his dad actually now wants to hire me. And it would have been kind of like a cool piece of content where it's like lifestyle. Like I'm just having coffee with my friends, but then the topic of a case comes up, and people could see what it's like, you know.
Yeah, like real life, like in time,
like a real life, like doing a consultation with a new client, like just at a coffee shop randomly in the middle of the day on a weekday when I'm just working, and like I didn't expect it, but that's how life goes, you know?
Yeah. So for your schedule, mainly, like what's your busiest day normally, on Monday?
I mean, every day's basically the same. Okay. So I think we should definitely we should absolutely do another.
I think at least once a week I should
field day like that.
Yeah, I think once a week, because we can catch a lot of content. You know, just like what happened with Ryan's dad, something like that unexpectedly can happen. So that, and then also from there we could most likely create reels. But I also kind of want to try to start making like vlogs from those.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to be in charge of that with the vlogs, just because it'll be a lot easier, because since I'm shooting it, I kind of know the direction of how it's like a movie script, you know, like I'm creating the beginning, middle, and end. So I can edit those pretty well. Doesn't require much graphics in the beginning, just for me to get back into that process.
Yep.
And then it'll be pretty good, I think.
Yeah, and you have your mobile rig set up and the mics and everything. It's super efficient, and I think
the mobile rig right here.
It's really fun. Yeah. It's cool. It looks great. I'm excited, and I already saw some of the clips that you sent me, so it looks super high quality. Yeah, so we should have filmed the other day when we were filming. We went to the coffee shop. We met Ryan. We were talking about, you know, various different business ideas, and then we did the consultation on Ryan's dad had a new case, and we met another lawyer that was working on raising money for he's doing like legal software and technology, super cool. He didn't want to be on camera at all though. And then Ryan's business partner in another business that we brainstormed about other stuff, they didn't want to be on camera for that, but it was cool. And then we left, and I left my backpack with my laptop at the coffee shop, and Ryan left his hoodie, and I didn't realize it until 10 seconds after Dave left.
You saw me with my book bag, like, hey,
and then I had to get an Uber, and it was like would have been really funny content, and it would have been good content. So as now Dave was like, after Dave was like messaging me, he's like, damn, I should have gotten that content. That would have been really good content.
Yeah,
like,
next time I have to just like it was like my first day back on the field, so I'm still getting like in creator.
Yeah,
mindset.
Like remember when we got to the coffee shop, and you were like, me and you were having a dialogue, like I was telling Dave, I was like, you need to like not talk to me like about, like you need to be like in work mode, like you need to be like, hey Brent, like where are you, like, what's the point of this meeting? Who are you going to be talking to? Okay. Like, you need to be grilling me and asking me questions so that you can like figure out like, okay.
But when I start recording you, if for whatever reason we have any situations where you're mad, I'm gonna just pull out the camera like, this is perfect.
Yeah. Like, basically, I was trying to get you to like realize, like, I was trying to help you channel your like producer mindset, right? Like, you're the producer. Yeah. You're like, you have to be like an artist. You have to kind of like boss me around. Yeah. You have to boss my whoever I'm meeting. You have to be like, no, sit here. You know, like we're ordering our coffee. Like, you're outside of the coffee shop, like build it, like looking where the lighting is good. You know, building a little set, moving furniture around. You know, like you have to be like.
No, because I used to in the past, I used to do some vlogs with my ex-girlfriend. So I used to do all that. It just takes me. It's like the first day back in there, and I was still fumbling around with the rig a little bit. So my main priority that day was, all right, let me make sure like the lighting is correct and my audio. But now that first day helped a lot because now
there was a lot of little things that you were like, it was your first time using this hardware, and like where's the file saved? Like that's why like it's just a game of reps. I always say that. So you know, the first time you're out testing your new rig and making sure it works, and you don't have an extra bandwidth to kind of like be that producer. But now the next time you're going to be like, all right, we're sitting here, go Brent. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, Brent, no, give him the mic. You know what I mean? If I'm like, oh no, he doesn't need the mic. And then you're going to be like, no. He needs a mic. Like this content's not going to be usable unless this guy has the mic. Give him the mic.
Yeah. And I'm only going to know like those situations once I put more of the reps in. So like the first day was just like getting the technicals out the way, making sure like the audio is fine and the visuals. Now I feel pretty comfortable with the camera, and it's just gonna get better the more we shoot like in the field, because there's like a different, like this for instance it's a little bit easier. It's like scheduled. I have this light on, we have these lights on. But
like, this we've done so many times. Also, it's like a sanitary area.
And it's like programmed. It's programmed, but like on the field, a lot of things change. Audio conditions, lighting conditions, people getting in the way, like you said, composition, like, you know, directing you to go to this position here, telling this person to speak. So that'll get better with time. But yeah, now I have the rig and I'm excited to like start creating field work. So I think we should at least like minimum like once a week. Like I should be with you. And if some way we can figure out a way where it's not like, maybe people don't feel uncomfortable whenever you like have your like poker games or something. I think if we can include that type of content somehow, that'd be cool.
Also, like, you were having the mic, which is good. Yeah. So when we might even get in the habit of like start filming, like we're about to pull up to the coffee shop or whatever. So you ask me like, who are we meeting? You know, you start filming, you know, the field content is from like a production standpoint, it's a million times harder. Mm-hmm. But from like a consumer audience perspective,
it's way more entertaining.
It's way more engaging, and it just feels so much more realistic. And I feel like if the audience is so much more likely to watch field content than they are like vanilla studio content, you know?
Mm-hmm. You know, one thing when I was when I used to really be in photography and videography, well, back then it was a little different because I had like a heavier camera, but that requires some exercise. Like, because there's something called like a ninja walk. So in order for me to keep, even though the iPhone is pretty steady, for me to keep it really steady, I have to do like a ninja walk. So I have to like bend my knees slightly, which requires
and like
a little bit of
slide almost, right?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a workout. So it's like, but now that we're like on month 2 of our fitness journey, I feel a lot better. So that's why last week I wanted to implement like mobility and yoga, because I know like going forward we're gonna be shooting a lot more. And even though like my rig isn't heavy, like just trying to be still certain moments.
Yeah, it still will wear out your shoulder. Just holding your arm like this with nothing in it for 5 minutes gets tiring.
Yeah, exactly. So because I used to have like a big rig with my camera, and I was like, man, after like 5 minutes, it's only like 5 or 10 pounds, but after like 5 minutes, my back would lock up. So now that I'm working out, I feel pretty good.
It's nice to have a real life use case when you're in the gym and you're just grinding in the gym, lifting or whatever.
Yeah,
it can get a little bit like boring in the sense that you don't have like, you're like, oh, like I need to be in sick shape because I need to be like the best producer. Like when
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
jacked and I'm lean, I'll be able to get like the best shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's really cool to have like something that you're getting better at something that you need for your actual real life when you're
Yeah.
working out, you know?
No, it makes a big difference. Like the more active in shape you are. I mean, I've met a lot of like videographers, and for the most parts, the ones that I've seen that take it serious, they're all in pretty good shape because they're all lugging like these heavy camera
It
equipment.
is. Well, they're a big piece of their job is manual labor.
Yeah.
So if they want to take their job, like, look, like if you're gonna be doing like mobile field content, you know, a guy that's 300 pounds is gonna have a huge disadvantage over a guy who's like super good shape.
Yeah. No, yeah, and it's also gonna help with the steps. So putting more steps in.
100%. And that's one of the things that when I'm working out, I think about. For me, the real life use case is it's kind of not the same because you don't need your muscles, but all the science now shows you that like having good muscle mass makes you smarter, it makes your decisions better. So like when I'm working out, I'm always thinking I'm training for my like poker and my law stuff to make it so that my decisions are going to be sharper.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be a much more competitive player and much more competitive lawyer and businessman. All the training that I do really does make you a better earner, so to speak.
It's improving like your well-being, which helps it in overall in your career and just like lifestyle in general. Are you taking any like supplements right now?
No, I mean my supplement list is I take athletic greens in the morning with colostrum.
Okay.
And that's my morning thing. And then at night I take magnesium glycinate, I take zinc, and I take fish oil.
The only thing I'm taking at the moment is I saw a video on some guy I follow. He uses like honey or like a pre-workout.
Yeah.
I've been taking like a tablespoon of honey. I don't know if it's placebo or not, but so far I feel pretty good taking it. I'll take it like 10 minutes before I head down to the gym.
Just honey? You're not putting it on rice cake or anything? I see people doing people doing like a little bit of almond butter and one rice cake and honey as like a pre-workout. Like
no,
light.
I just been taking just like a tablespoon of honey. Then I go straight downstairs and just walk 10 minutes and then hit the gym. What else besides that? Protein shakes, and I think that's it. Just honey and protein shakes for the most part.
You're not doing fish oil?
So I've been taking, I forget what it's called. It's like Folly Growth. It's like these supplement pills. But for the most part, it includes a lot of the stuff you mentioned earlier. Like you take magnesium, zinc, things that are just good for your hair and your hair follicles.
Yeah.
And biotin. But it's like a supplement. It's like a health supplement, but it's also good for your hair. So I've been taking that. And I was taking magnesium by itself at nighttime. But now that this includes it, I'm just taking these pills at nighttime.
Magnesium is supposed to be really good for like recovery and sleep quality.
Yeah, so I'm taking those pills like around like 8 or 9 o'clock. It's like 2 pills I take with water. So that's the only supplements I'm taking is the honey, the protein, and then these like hair pills that I've been taking.
Nice. Yeah. So I probably could add some supplements to the mix, but for now, I think I'm just focusing all my energy on just dialing in the basics. That's kind of like, I know that I'm not going to get to like the apps, like it's always going to be a journey, right? It's always going to be like an ever continuing process to optimize health and just try and be better. And there might be some parts of your life where you're kind of like just doing a maintenance phase.
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily striving for like any changes. You just kind of found what works and then you're just chilling in maintenance. But I'm trying to now really realize like and embrace that we're doing like a sprint. You know, this is like a 100-day sprint to try and accomplish as much as possible. And just kind of, it helps to kind of keep things in perspective. I feel like when you realize, if you are doing a 100-day challenge and you're like thinking about it like, wow, this is how my rest of my life is going to be.
Yeah, it's tough.
I feel like it gets a little bit, if it can feel a little bit unsustainable and it feels a little bit daunting, as opposed to being like, look, this is like a sprint in the marathon of life.
Yeah.
This is like a little mini episode that I'm sprinting like as hard as I can, and I'm gonna get a break at the end of it. I'm gonna see how much ground I can cover, how fast I can cover that, and kind of reminding yourself of that, I think for me can give me extra discipline. Be like, look, this is not a forever thing. Like, you don't have to deprive yourself forever, but like, let's really deprive ourselves and be super strict and disciplined for this period of time. Reminding myself of that, I think, helps me accomplish more quickly.
And I think it's also good to sometimes try to feel comfortable when you're uncomfortable in certain situations and time frames. So same thing in my mindset right now. I know I have 90 days or 100 days in total, 65 more days left of just me dialing in, another 65 days of, like, for the most part, not going out. I don't think I've gone out really since we started this. I've just been at home every day, but I'm fine with it because I know it's not forever. It's just like temporary. And like on the opposite end for me, it's once I do cut down to that weight, I know that my end goal is to continue to gain more muscle. So I know my calorie intake is going to increase. So I'm not going to, but for the most part, I don't even feel hungry now. Like, my body's kind of used to this deficit.
Yeah, I'm honestly in the same boat. Like, I've been surprised how little hunger I have. My body definitely feels adjusted to where I'm at, which is probably a sign that it's ready. I'm sure like an expert would be like, all right, that's good. That means that you're like,
you're dropping like healthy.
Yeah, you're dropping healthy, but it also means that you're probably ready to bump your deficit up by like 150 or 200,
and I think that's like the most healthy way to go about it. Because sometimes when people, which I've been a victim of this like many times, is I'll cut way too drastic and I feel hungry, I feel like crap, I'm mad, I'm bothered by every little thing, and then just getting down to like my ideal weight is like a horrible mission. But this time I've been cutting, and I'm surprised like how much weight I'm losing even though like in my mindset I'm not feeling hungry.
You're not. Well, I've seen this now enough to know that I think this is like not even up for dispute, that this is like this is the way to do it. You assume that your maintenance is 3,000 for a guy who like lifts and does cardio and has some muscle. Like 3,000 is like a pretty good maintenance assumption. Instead of going from 3,000 today to 1,500 calories tomorrow,
it's huge.
Going from 3,000 to 2,500 for a month, and then going from 2,500 to 2,000 for a month, and then going from 2,000 to 1,600 for the last month, that seems to be like everybody pretty much agrees on, like, that's the way to do it. Like, that's for a lot of reasons. Healthy, more progress. It just helps. It's just better all around.
But if I'm like steadily losing weight and steadily, not being as hungry as I normally would, because sometimes when in order for me to cut down to those certain weight limits, I have to like make such a change. So then once I do break out of that, like if I'm on vacation, I just go off the rails. But like I was saying earlier, I don't feel hungry like I'm doing now.
I'm not really battling too much hunger like pains at all right now.
Yeah. No, that's how I feel right now. I don't feel hungry. And I noticed yesterday, because I was at my mom's, she made me food, and like the first time I can remember in such a long time, maybe the first time in my life where I said, no, it's enough. I don't want any more. Because I have this thing, I think it's like a mental block since I was a child. My father, if I didn't finish like all the food on my plate, I would get like an ass whooping.
Yeah.
So it's like something mental.
The same situation last night. I was at the Hard Rock, and we got some food from the really good Japanese like steakhouse.
Yeah.
And we got like a lot, and I was just eating it, and then I was like, you know what? After I had eaten a decent amount, probably half as much as I normally would eat, I was just like, I definitely don't need to eat any more food. And there was still like a ton of good food, and I was just like, plus, not only have I eaten enough, but this is restaurant food, so it's whatever you think it is, it's like double. Yeah. So I was just like, boom, and that's probably why I weighed in today heavier, because it had probably a lot of salt and a lot of like oils and stuff. So if I had eaten like probably a normal amount of that, I probably would have been 208 instead of 207 this morning. So I'm proud of myself for doing that. Like, just being like, look, I know that I'm full. Like I don't need to go crazy.
Honestly, I think that's, out of all the benefits that I've had so far in general, whenever I do these cuts, I think this is like to me, like one of the most satisfying accomplishments for myself. And just because for me, that's one of my biggest things is always eating, out of control. So now that I actually felt yesterday,
not having control.
Yeah. For me, it's like not having control. Now that I have control, it's one of like the biggest benefits, like in this journey we're having now. And something I didn't really experience in the past because I was cutting so drastic that I was miserable. But now that I'm cutting it at a healthy, rate, I feel really good. And just like me saying no to food is such a big step for me, which I think it's gonna help sustain this like transformation going forward for the foreseeable future. It's gonna be, for me, it's like probably one of the biggest achievements that I can make, because for me it's like a mental thing. And if I can conquer that mental habit of just not eating or overeating, or just because I have to have dessert because it's just what I've done my whole entire life, it makes the biggest difference.
Well, remember like two episodes ago, you were like, you were telling me about how like when you eat candy or whatever, like you were convinced that like you had some specific issue that like, no, remember? And I was and you were like, when I eat candy, like I go overboard. It's like, it's a thing it's just me. It's a me thing. And I was like, I was begging you. I was like, it's not you. And we should go back and find the footage because it's a big deal. I was like trying to tell you, I was like, it's not you. It's a human thing. You're designed to eat food, and you're designed to like eat so that you survive. Mm-hmm. It's in your DNA. And now the time is we've evolved where there's unlimited food. And now the new survival technique is being able to stop eating, not being able to eat unlimited like 1,000 years ago when it was like, how much food can you hunt and kill and eat? That's going to be whoever can do that will survive. Now we flip the script, and it's the people who have evolved in their brain enough to stop eating are the ones who are going to live longer and survive more, which is kind of crazy to think. So I was begging you, I was like, first of all, you need to change your mindset, right? If everyone knows this now, like with all the internet gurus and the self-help coaches, if you convince yourself that you're like deficient or that you have a brain flaw, then you're fucked, right? So until you start realizing that you actually that you're not fucked and you can make a change, once you come to, that's why I was like telling you, I was like, trust me, bro, it's not you. It's like, it's just a behavior that you're used to. You've done it so many times that it feels impossible, right? It feels like you can never have one Reese's cup, right? Like it's either 100 or 0.
I think it's because I've never cut weight healthy in my life. So I think I never believed it because I've never done it, and I've only heard about it from other people where I don't have like any cravings for this. I'm like, how the hell? Because for me, it's like I'm freaking like a cookie monster. I haven't eaten cookies in 20 years, and I see a cookie, I just go crazy.
You're just having to eat everything.
Yeah. So, but now that I'm doing it healthy, I feel like, honestly, it's probably this is like the best cut that I've had health wise. Maybe not like let's say changes in the first month as far as like weight goes,
but it feels easy.
No, it feels easy right now, like
effortless, right?
First month for me, like I said, I was probably going 60 to 70% intensity and hitting the weights. Walking wasn't crazy. I was walking 10 to 12,000 steps, and I did it that way because I wanted to prevent injury, but also because like I'm handling a lot of stuff during the daytime, so I just didn't want to overload myself like I normally do. Whenever I do these transformations, I'll spend like 5 hours in the gym, where it's like 2-3 hours walking.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not. So,
and then you get hurt, and then you're really fucked.
Yeah. So this time I'm really happy because it's something that's the first time I've tried to apply this in this way, and it's making the biggest difference like mentally. And I'm realizing that, like you said, it's not just a me thing. It's if I do it the healthy way and just slightly do a deficit. And last week I did have a Reese's. I just put it in my yogurt, and that was it. It wasn't a big deal. It was 25 calories. It was one of those like mini ones.
Yeah, like not a big deal. It's a treat. It's once you are like operating from a place of like, okay, like this is I have a strategy, I have a system, I know my calories, I know my macros, like you're approaching it like a scientist, then having a Reese's or having a whatever is like, it's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Because you're like, all right, so I'm going to just not eat whatever. I'm going to substitute something a little bit less healthy for like an apple, and the calories will be the same and it won't really throw me off and everything's fine. But when you don't have, like, when you're not educated and you're being lazy and you don't have a system and you're just kind of like, meh, I'll eat healthy, meh.
Yeah.
You know, that's when you're not going to be that healthy, right? So, and by the way, you don't necessarily, I talked about this, maybe not since we started filming the episodes, but like going through a period of time where you're hardcore tracking, you know what I mean, is, even if you only do that for 1 week for your whole life, it provides massive, massive, massive dividends forever because you have a baseline now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're like, I was at 3,500 calories today. Like, I know. Versus like when you haven't tracked forever and you're just kind of like, oh, I ate too much today. Well, how much did you eat? Like 4,000 calories? Did you eat 6,000 calories?
Yeah, math is way off.
Did you eat 200 calories over maintenance? Like, now that there's so much of an abundance of food everywhere we go and the restaurants, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, is like, you know, now the skill isn't who can eat the most, who can find the most food and eat the most.
Yeah.
That was the skill 1,000 years ago. Now the real skill for terms of health is like who can be dialed in and know what to eat and how much to eat properly. Those are the people that are going to be really surviving the longest.
Yeah. I think the biggest like lesson I've learned so far throughout this like first month was I never realized how much of a unhealthy relationship I've had with food in general. Just the way I thought about food and approaching food, because I've always felt that I needed to eat everything on the plate. I needed to eat more, or whenever food is available to me, I have to eat it. And it's always because I've cut badly in the past, where the incorrect way of doing it, where I'm way too hungry, and then once I snap out of that, like, okay, because it becomes a little obsessive the way I've done it in the past, like lock in 2 months, drop in 20-30 pounds. But then once I break out of that, I really just have like an unhealthy relationship with food, because now like the next 2 or 3 months go by and I'm just eating whatever. But I feel like this time, which for me is like I think in the beginning episodes when you went through like a breakthrough with just counting your calories, it's kind of like a breakthrough for me now. I'm realizing that like my whole life I've had a bad relationship with food, and now I'm getting used to, okay, I don't have to like finish this, or I don't have to eat that just because it's in my fridge. If I saw like a tub of ice cream before, I felt like if I had just one scoop, all right, what's another 2 or 3? Oh, you know what? Let me just finish the whole thing.
And then you're just going to basically eat until you get sick.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is so far, like, I didn't even know I had this issue until now.
Yeah, it's funny. I think a lot of people, you just thought it was like a thing that you had. Like, you just like to eat, like you couldn't control yourself.
I'm just like, oh, it's just genetics.
Yeah, you just, like, people don't think about these things until,
my mindset's so crazy, because my roommate, sometimes I would see him like leave food and not finish it, and my mind, I'm like, yo, this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, half a sandwich is still left.
One of the issues that I had on that note is so my boys are 6 and 4. So for the first few years, we would like go out to eat, and we'd order like all this food. We'd order them something healthy and something unhealthy and try and get them to eat the healthy stuff. But then of course they would just eat the unhealthy stuff. But like, there would be so much unfinished food that I would just eat it, because I was like, I paid for all this food.
Yeah.
I have this feeling that I'm compelled to eat it, but it was killing me. It was making me feel so bad and eat all this unnecessary food, and getting over that hump where you're like, just because you paid for something doesn't mean that you have to eat it. Or like, just because, like, I remember when I was younger, I was like, oh, I bought like a $100 ticket to go to some charity event, and it was open bar.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, I have to have like 7 or 8 drinks to make sure that I get my money's worth.
Yeah, yeah.
And I still hear people that like, open bar, this is awesome, and I'm like, I pay for, like, I'll go to a charity event now or whatever, or go to an event.
All you can eat buffet. I'm gonna make sure I eat everything.
All you can drink, open bar, buffet, and I'll just be like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm gonna have no drinks, and I'm gonna have like the right amount of food that makes me feel good. And the fact that I could eat more is irrelevant. Like that's a big issue. Like I'm gonna consume what's gonna make me feel good. Forgetting about that's funny that you brought that up, because that's a big
it's huge
issue that you have to get, that a lot of people have to get over, especially like when you grow up poor and you grow up like everybody's like, finish what's on your plate, like how dare you not eat. But it goes back to that mindset of like, we just killed a deer and we need to eat the entire deer because we don't know when we're going to kill the next one. And we're now at a position where I think that framework is like, when it comes time to eat, is like, we live in a time when you're about to like eat food, I think like having like a little mantra or something that you say, like when you're going to be presented with an opportunity to eat unlimited, right? Like you're at a restaurant, you're at a buffet. Obviously, when you have like a meal prep and you're just going to eat your meal, it might not be as relevant. But like when you're in a situation where there's basically unlimited food, like you're at a Super Bowl party, you're at a charity event, you're at a dinner with friends, and there's going to be like 20 different entrees for the table. There needs to be, I think, some kind of little self-talk that you have where you're like, I live in a world of abundant food. Tomorrow I will also have unlimited food. The key for me is to know where I'm at, eat the right amount of food to make me feel good, and then stop eating and go on conversing and talking to my friends or doing the next activity, because that's the real skill now.
It's just all self-control, and the longer we're in this like workout journey, you realize that it becomes easier with time, the more times you're experienced with those situations. Also, one thing I would add, which has helped me in the past when I was like doing drastic cuts, I would like eat before I go to those parties, so I'll be somewhat full.
That's a good trick too.
I would eat my meals, so I know once I'm there, I'm for the most part full, and I'll just chug water when I'm there. And if I'm gonna have a couple of chips, I'll have a couple of chips. And the next day, I will just kind of try to balance it out with maybe walking a little bit more, or a little bit more exercise. Because at least for me, like these parties aren't something I'm going to frequently. So we're looking at an hour right now. I think closing thoughts for me is just going to continue what I'm doing. I feel like I'm at a good pace. I might pick up the intensity with the weights, and maybe add 2,000 or 3,000 steps per day more. That's the only change I'm going to do on my end.
This week for me, I'm going to just make sure that I have, I'm going to make sure that I get my steps back up to like 10 to 12,000. And I'm going to just make sure that I don't compromise my sleep, because I started to kind of like compromise my sleep. Like I had a couple nights where I went to sleep at 1, started sleeping in a little bit and kind of like not having a consistent sleep schedule. So I'm gonna just try and tighten it up, just keep it tight, not get too discouraged by like the daily fluctuations in the scale. Just try and just have a really tight day today and get a good bedtime tonight, and then stay focused on staying really, really busy with all the positive stuff that we're working on, and everything will take care of itself. I feel like we had a good it was good to see you had a breakthrough where you're like, you actually feel you're in control now of like, you don't feel powerless to food. That's a big,
it's big for me.
It's a big deal.
It's something unexpected, because it's not just like a big deal because it's something that I wanted to work on. It's something I had no idea I had an issue with until now. So it's like,
it's kind of like somebody who's addicted to smoking figures out a way to stop. It's or like a toxic girlfriend. Like it's like, wow, I don't feel like I could just eat a little bit and stop. Like, how great is that? It's the best feeling ever. Like, I don't have to eat myself sick every time I eat something that's like not perfectly healthy. You know what I mean? Like, I can eat half a sandwich, or I can eat one slice of pizza. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, being able to do that when you thought for 40 years that it was impossible, be like, it's actually not. It's kind of like similar to when you first realize that you can actually fast, and you can like go through that transition where your body like switches from burning food for fuel to fat. So
no, and for me, for instance, this probably, hopefully I look back in like 5 or 10 years, because when I broke up with my ex, which was like a toxic relationship, I told myself that was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Well, actually, she left me, so that was perfect. But at the end of the day, like just in general, breaking up with her and not going after her was one of the best decisions in my life. Hopefully, I can like look back on this day and just say, honestly, that's the reason why I still have a six pack to this day, is because of that breakthrough I had on the podcast. So that's motivating.
It's amazing. I feel like we're making a lot of progress, and sometimes progress is like invisible. Like, yeah, the numbers are going down on the scale, but it's small.
Yeah.
But if we just stay consistent and we keep going, like we're on day 35, like if we really keep going, we're gonna have really good results by day 100, and make our documentary, inspire people, and these episodes they'll be really cool for people to see down the road. So that's a wrap. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace.